Guitar Ninjas, we are back with another podcast. You have now met me through my new employee. I think it's about time you meet him. So, Baron the Bear. Time to ask you questions.
Go ahead, you can ask me anything.
Okay, so what is your... No, let's actually think about proper questions. So, I've decided to put together a quick fire round,
Oh, okay.
a slower round, and a third. So, I say round, but it's just an easy way to break the video up. The last podcast, I think, with my rambling as well, made it very difficult to work out where we were. So, we're going to do a quick fire about you, a slower round of about you, because then you've got more detail for answers, and then a round that's about the job.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, so let's just jump straight in. I'm hoping this one's going to be a bit quicker than the last one, but at the same time I don't want to cut you off if you're midway through a detailed answer, so we'll see where it goes. So, really quick fire, easy round, hopefully. So first of all, how old are you?
I am 20 years old. I turned 20 in September.
Nice.
On the 2nd of September.
Ooh, giving everyone your birthday as well. So remember, 2nd of September, whatever it's doing then for us. That's a while away.
Yeah.
We need to get everybody on board. Just be like, rah. Okay, this is quickfire. We're failing already. So, do you have siblings?
Yes. I have a few siblings. I have 2 that live with me, and then I have 4 that don't.
Wow. Okay, more than even I realised. So I'm going to ask you more about that, even if that's off camera. Do you play guitar?
I play sometimes. I'm not the greatest, but I am getting to be great again through the academy.
Getting to be great. Indeed. Awesome. Do you play any other instruments?
I played the cello when I was younger, but that I haven't played in a few years.
I had no idea. Can you use a bow?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Do you think is the technique similar enough that you could transfer bow from cello to like violin, viola, and that kind of thing?
With violin and cello, yes and no, because obviously the cello.
It's the angle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like I could only play slowly because
Okay.
I only learned when I was younger. I could probably play a little
Just
bit
to
now.
wind you up, I have like a fiddle in the attic,
Oh no.
and I think we should challenge it at some point. We should challenge both of us because I am horrendously bad. I cannot use a bow to save my life. I can find notes on them.
Yeah.
But like, just if I'm picking like an idiot. Okay, what is your favourite band? One favourite band?
Corn.
Korn. What about Korn makes it awesome?
Oh, it's just the instrumentals and the Jonathan Davis's voice just soothes my soul on such a deep level. And it's beautiful.
I get it. He's got that voice that's... It fits metal because it's gravelly, but it's not just screaming down a mic.
Yeah.
And he can do both soft and aggressive, although you don't hear as much of his soft actually sound soft.
Yeah, and his voice is so unique. You will not hear his voice ever again. Like you probably will in like 100 years or so. But it's
Oh yes, so somebody else won't have that same voice. No, I think you're right. Distinct voices definitely help artists stand out. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, last one of the quick fire round is weird question that I just thought people might want to know. What's your favourite colour? Do you have one?
I'm gonna say black, but people are gonna bug me about that.
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
your
shade. So red.
Okay. No, that's fair, because to be fair, I like colour, but actually I really like just greys.
Oh yeah, that's fair enough.
And again, like, a lot of people that's like, well, grey's not a colour, like to some people, but I don't know. But then I guess if I have to pick a colour, I'd go purple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like purple. Dark purples, none of this pastel rubbish.
I like bright, luminous red, like my hair.
Yeah. Well, like the Guitar Ninja.
Exactly.
Yes, black and red, Guitar Ninja world. Okay, right, slower round now. You can explain these in a little bit more detail. So, what do you do with your free time? When you're not working for me, when you've got downtime, what kind of hobbies and things do you have? What do you enjoy doing?
I think the main thing I'm doing at the minute is writing my books and watching anime. That's basically... And I spend a lot of time with my partners and my friends. I'm either with my friends or my partners and I'm still writing when they're there. So it's like...
Have you finished any books that you've done, or are you just working on things at the moment?
I finished my first and second book, but I'm re-going over the first one because I want to improve on it and I want to make it better.
So are they finished but not published, or?
Oh yeah, finished but not published.
Cool. Are you aware of being able to self-publish and things like that as well? You
Yeah.
are? Cool. Because I was going to say otherwise, maybe we'll talk about that on a lunch break at some point. Okay, so a couple of books out already, writing, anime and stuff. One thing you didn't mention, but I know you've mentioned to me before, is your artwork. I don't think you mentioned that, did you?
No, I didn't, but I've kind of put a back burner on my art at the minute.
Okay.
Because I've been more focused on my writing and I want to get that done, because my books are long.
That's fine. Attention splitting.
Mm.
Yeah, I remember when I was setting up the Guitar Ninja. Well, no, not the Guitar Ninja, my guitar lessons before. And I had all these different projects and ideas on the go at the same time. I was trying to do the business and the band and the job and a few other bits and bobs. And you can't do anything well if you're trying to do 100 things okay.
Yeah.
So actually dropping some hobbies to focus on others is great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You asked me about who inspired me in the guitar world and the business world, so I'm going to just ask you, who inspires you as an open question?
Who inspires me? Well, people, like YouTubers inspire me.
Okay.
And how they've, like, Elvis
Any
the
particular
Alien.
ones? Yeah, okay, here we go, yeah.
Elvis the Alien, Bionic Pig, Pyrocynical, they're the three big ones. Oh, and PewDiePie.
Okay.
You know, I don't really watch him that much anymore, but I am inspired by him because 100 million subscribers and that.
Whilst I'm also not a massive fan of PewDiePie, I also don't know any of the other names you said,
Yeah.
just to be honest. But just with PewDiePie, at one point he was getting, 4 videos out a day?
Mm-hmm.
How do you have time to film, edit, upload, make sure there's titles, descriptions, tags, it's SEO friendly, it's on brand with your channel, and have time to exist as a human being, eating, sleeping, talking to friends or family? Like,
Yeah.
if you had 4 videos up in one day, great, you had an exciting day, but he did that consistently for ages.
Yeah.
So yeah, PewDiePie, whilst I might not be a massive fan of the content he does produce, I'm also like in awe of his ability to keep that work ethic and not destroy himself doing so.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, the more I edit YouTube videos for you, the more I'm like, oh, this is so much work, and I didn't even realize. Now I appreciate YouTube on a deeper level now. And it's, I'm like, oh, seeing people edit, and I'm just like, bro, these edits are great.
It's when people turn around and say anybody with a phone can become a YouTuber. You're like, yes, that is true. You can just hold a phone and film, but if you want to actually capture an audience and keep them going, you need to do even better than this podcast.
Yeah.
We'll get a few views on this, but you know what I mean. Like to really reach those million view videos, you have to have thought about the content and the edits and the lighting and sound, as well as thinking about how are you giving that entertainment or value or whatever. And yeah, every time I think I'm getting to understand YouTube, I look at something else and go, it's still not as good as these channels.
Yeah.
And like you, it's just constant improvement. We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll own YouTube.
But I do have some other inspiration.
Yes, go for it.
So for my art world, like my art world, Tim Burton.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. I'm with you on that.
100%. His artwork is beautiful. His sketch work is beautiful. I want to go to his museum. Like his art.
I was really worried that you were going to say a name I'd never heard of, because the art world isn't something I dig into much. But yeah, I love Tim Burton stuff.
Yeah.
And the fact that him and Johnny Depp are good friends, and you see the things that come out when those two bounce off each other, and it's such a cool style as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like.
Okay, I want to interrupt your answers to give you something here. So you said about YouTubers inspiring you. You say about Tim Burton inspiring you. The Tim Burton's kind of moody-esque style with the video technicality. Have I already introduced you to Peter McKinnon?
Yeah, I think you showed me him. Yeah.
Good. His photography and his videography and the way that he puts those shadows and lights in. I don't know, there's something about the way he colour corrects both his videos and his photos that I just go, oh, they're just so good. But they're in that same sort of vein that I thought you'd enjoy. Okay, so we've got your art world, you got your YouTube. Anything else coming to mind?
Derek Landy for my writing.
Okay.
He wrote the Skullduggery series and the Demon Road series.
Okay, I've at least heard of those.
Yeah, honestly, they're my favourite books. He's my favourite author. Anything he publishes, I buy. I buy it. I'm like, oh. I'm like waiting for his. I think it's his 15 score degree book to come out.
Jesus.
Because I own up to 14, and I love them all. I own all his books. I even own one of the hardback covers of the Demon Road series. Oh, it's beautiful.
Fair play.
How he writes, I like. He's one of the big things that got me into writing when I was younger, and his writing style. I don't want to imitate it, but it inspired mine. Like, it's really good.
So that's an accurate thing to say, actually. Like, being inspired and imitating are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I heard is creativity is actually just taking different things that you have seen and crossing them over. And from the more obscure paths that cross over, the more it seems creative. But really, it is just merging ideas. So if you like their style and want to write like that, and you do something else that still makes it your own, that is still writing your own, but taking on their style. Same with guitar. Like, if I tried to play a solo that sounded exactly like Slash, then I'm just being Slash. But if I take that and incorporate something from, say, Dimebag, a very different style of playing, and put the two together, I've got something that feels right to me, because they're two people that inspire me, but they're kind of unique from both of them. As long as I'm literally... Well, to be fair, so Slash will never do a sweep pick and never did finger tapping. And Dimebag does both of those. So if I just put sweeps and tapping into something that's very pentatonic and bluesy bendy, then I kind of have that merge. So it is quite doable, actually.
Yeah.
It's like if you take Slash and make it sound faster.
Yeah.
Effectively. Yeah, when it comes to the reading and the book side, perhaps I should give one of those a check. So for those listening to the podcast or watching the video, I very much only focus on reading things where I feel I'm going to learn from them. I really enjoy learning. So I read business, mindset, educational side books, which I'm sure a lot of people think aren't fun, but for me, if I don't gain something from a book, entertainment isn't really enough for me normally. But I know that you're the other way around. You read a lot for more stories and entertainment. I quite like that quirk of difference. I mean, never know, we might find out that in our writing of blogs and things like that, people will be able to read them and go, well, I know who wrote this one. It's full of just facts, that was Rory. This one's got plenty of story and like involvement in it. This is probably going to be fair. And so, yeah, I think that those that are along the journey with us will notice that. Okay, any other inspirations before we move on?
No, just
No?
they're my big ones.
Perfect. So, last question on the about you, and then we're going to move into the about the job stuff. So, this one's a tricky question to ask if you've not put any depth into thinking about this one.
Okay.
But I like to ask this question because it's something that I like to ask of myself. And I do ask other people, and you would have heard me mention this if I've not asked it anyway.
Yeah.
And that is, what do you believe your core values are? What do you as a person value above more else? Value above everything else?
I had a feeling you'd ask me this.
Of course.
My core values is honesty, even if I'm too honest sometimes. I'm very blunt about it.
I was really tempted to just be mean then. Be like, you want honesty? Yeah! And then say something that wasn't honest anyway.
My other core values are probably doing stuff you enjoy. Like I want to. This is why the whole entertainment thing is big for me, because I enjoy doing it, and it's something. Even if people criticise me for it, oh, you're just being lazy, or all you do is watch anime. I enjoy watching anime, and I believe in doing what you want to do for yourself. I believe in what you want to do is right, and also helping people.
Okay.
I love helping people.
So, honesty, helping people, doing what you enjoy, and with that, a lot of things that you mentioned that you enjoyed are that creative arts and entertainment. So, I mean, I feel like that explains why you're kind of drawn with the Guitar Ninja, because it is about teaching, where you have to be honest to teach people and them actually learn. It is that enjoyment. I don't think anybody in the world really needs to learn guitar. There's loads of benefits to guitar, to music in general, but I don't think anybody needs to. Obviously, the core value of honesty in the first place is something that's high up on mine. I will have conversations I do not want to have because I respect having the honesty out there, then open honesty as well. So there's a difference between not lying
Yeah.
and giving the information as soon as it's needed. Because I know people that value honesty, but will just avoid answering if they don't like the honest answer, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the value and enjoyment is actually quite an important thing that I'm actually learning to do more than I used to. I think it's a really hard roller coaster when you start to become self-employed, and then you start to employ other people, and then you start thinking about the whole journey of life. I've done that 30 midlife crisis thing, where I've just gone, am I just going to want to work really hard to build a business for the next 30, 40 years? Or do I want to build that business so I can live as well? And it's trying to find, well, what's the balance? What is just being a business robot, or living life so much that you don't care about finance and business and that? So it's finding that balance is a difficult thing. But no, I'm glad that those things fit into your core values. Okay, we're on to about the job.
Yep, that's fine.
About the job. So, what made you choose to apply for the Guitar Ninja in the first place? In fact, how did you hear about it, and then what made you choose?
Oh, this is actually really simple because I remember the day that I'd done it because I got put on the Kickstarter scheme.
Okay.
And I had one interview before you, a week before, from another Kickstarter, and they didn't accept me, which is fine. And when I went in the next week, they were like, okay, let's have a look at some other jobs. I was like, is there anything on this screen interesting? There was like blacksmithing, box poster stuff for the post office and everything.
Okay.
And then the Guitar Ninja showed up and I was like, what's that?
It's an interesting enough business name, isn't it?
Yeah, it drew me in and they were like, okay, so it's a creative job. And they were like, that might actually really fit into the thing you want to do. And then they described the role to me as vague as possible because I was just like, it's administrating, but we're not sure what you're doing. You'll be working for this guy, and I was like, he teaches guitar, and I was like, oh, that's enough information for me, I guess.
I think the job description was broad enough because it was basically like, I want you to help with my online marketing and my admin, but I'm a guitar teaching business, so the admin and online is going to be a bit different to other places.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and I'm such a small business, if I need something posted, you need to go to the post office for me. You know, if I need to find some research on venues or finding photographers, I might be like, can you try and find people and get me some quotes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, I think with the Guitar Ninja itself, you're seeing that name and seeing things on there. For those that don't know, actually, the Kickstart scheme is a scheme that the government are currently running to help people that are on universal credits that may have a risk of long-term unemployment. That's the reason they word it.
Yeah.
I know that you weren't in too bad a position there, but in risk of long-term unemployment, it's a system designed to help them get work for 6 months. And for smaller companies, it's great because it gives them the opportunity to have an employee for 6 months and get used to that. And for bigger companies, it seems to be a great opportunity to grab loads of cheap labour and just throw them into the warehouse without much training.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, but at the same time it still gives people 6 months of wages and a thing to put on their CV at the end of it, so there still is some benefit. So that's what the Kickstart scheme is, and obviously, like you say, you then apply for things and found me through that. Okay, so this is great because this leads into the next question quite easily. So what were your honest, you say you like honesty, and I want you to be blunt here about positives and negatives. What were your honest first thoughts when you left the first interview?
Honestly, I left really positive. I left and I called my girlfriend and I was just like, I think I've got a job. And it's a job that I think I really like.
Yeah, because I offered you the job in the interview. I was that impressed by your vibe and the way you took things on. Yeah, I remember that. Sorry, carry on.
Well, I was really happy and I was really nervous because I was like, I was really worried about myself. I was like, I've never done something like this before.
Yeah.
I was like, I've never not been a number.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm like, oh, I've never really done online stuff. Like when we were setting up the cameras, I was like, how do you turn it on?
So this is a big point. I'm gonna interrupt your answer again because I like to do that and I like to talk. No, what I wanted to say here though was when I was looking for the job, because I'm a small business, I need somebody with the right mindset.
Mm-hmm.
People can learn new skills if they've got a positive mindset to learning, right? So your skill set wasn't that important to me.
Mm-hmm.
Your attitude, mindset, and some hints of passion and things, that was important to me.
Yeah.
So when you came in and you showed me that you'd done a bit of your own artwork, I was like, you went out your way to put some effort into something.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't just waste your evenings doing nothing all the time.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool, there's some passion and a creative side. Then when you showed me the interest in metal bands, that just means we're going to have things to get along with. We're a small company. I don't want to be stuck with an employee I can't chat with.
Yeah.
And then when I set you those tasks of, right, put these forms into this database, and as soon as you struggled, you asked for help. Boom. I knew that straight away you were somebody worth taking on because you weren't scared or timid to go, I don't know what this bit means,
Mm-hmm.
which is why I purposely designed those forms for you to have to ask. And then when I was like, right, now I need you to call somebody for some information, and you just grabbed the phone and straight away went to, even if they didn't answer. But yeah, it was that attitude of willing to learn, get on and do, show the passion. I was like, I don't care what your skill set is right now.
Mm-hmm.
You can learn a skill set, you can't learn a mindset as easily.
Yeah.
I mean, you can learn a mindset, I've worked on mine loads,
Yeah.
but it's it's not something that I can expect of an employee quite easily. So yeah, sorry, you left feeling good because of those sort of sides.
Yeah.
What negatives were there from it? Was there anything that, apart from feeling nervous, perhaps?
The only negative is I've never been to this area. Before I started, the only thing I knew about Camp Hill was there's a number 3 bus that goes there. Don't know where it is. It goes somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, that sounds like a made up land to me, because obviously I live more in NN3 area.
Yeah.
So like I stick to that area.
So for those watching, basically in Northampton, I live in one side of town, Farron's pretty much the opposite side of the same town. Apparently we're the largest town without city status. Found that out the other day.
Yeah.
So we are literally quite far apart if we're opposite ends of that. I like to be a slight snob and say that I'm in West Hunsbury because there's a road that divides me and Camp Hill. And Camp Hill has a bad reputation, so I like to pretend that I'm even further away than one road from it. But you're right, the bus is Camp Hill, so is the shop, so I kind of have to accept that is where I am. Yeah, okay, so not knowing this side of town was a bit of a...
Yeah, and also not knowing the bus times and everything, because that was a whole new experience, learning what times to be here, like getting here early as well. Because obviously, before I started, my sleep schedule was go to bed at 8 o'clock in the morning, then wake up later. But now I go to bed at 2, then wake up at 8, and then I get ready and leave, and I get here for 10 or earlier.
See, if I was going to bed at 2 and getting up at 8, I wouldn't be able to function after day 3. Day 1 and 2, I'll be fine. Day 3, I'll be a robot. Day 4, I'll be dead. Like, unless you are asleep at 2 and wake up at 8. So you're getting a solid 6 hours and maybe able to function a bit longer. But as soon as you go just a minute less than 6 hours, my body's like...
My body's used to like less sleep.
I have just realised that's another zoom in on my face moment, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, right, so let's go on to next. So, what is your favourite thing about the job itself now that you've been doing it a few weeks?
Well, I've really grown to really love editing the videos.
Nice.
I don't know why, but learning new things on Adobe is really interesting to me. And learning all the shortcuts. I actually remember all the keys now, like the shortcut keys.
Yeah, but I don't remember those.
I remember like the Z to U.
Oh yeah, all your copy and pastes and all of those ones. I'm trying to work out because they cross over almost everything in Windows. It's working out what ones are specific to Adobe Premiere that I still don't know. That software, I can make anything I want to happen in it, but I'm sure there must be a way to go click and it's done, and I spend an hour doing this.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I've been like looking up stuff online, and then if I ever need anything, I'll just YouTube it, like the Photoshop thing.
I mean, that's the wonderful world of YouTube. You can learn anything on it. So yeah, I completely agree. Completely agree with going through things. So video editing is your favourite thing on the job. which is great because I also love video editing. Someone's head just fell off. I also love editing, but it's so time consuming. When I look at all the other things I want to get done in the business, I'm like, I can't justify this much time on it. So that's one of the biggest reasons I hired. So I'm glad you enjoy it, because it means I can really drop that on you and not feel like a guilty boss just going, you do the stuff I can't. I can't be bothered with, you know. So I'm glad you enjoy it.
Oh, and also, I like having a boss that actually communicates with me and doesn't just see me as a number. I really like that. That's a whole new experience for me. I'm used to having arguments with my boss because they've put me on more hours than they should have and everything. Like, I will admit I do have a bit of a reputation at KFC for being a stern.
Right. If a boss will treat me like a number, I'm going to learn my contract and job description, and if they ask me to do a thing outside of it, my answer is shut up. I'm not it's not my job. You pay me to do this, this, and this. That's it. And if they're going to treat me like a number, I'm going to respond like a robot number that says, nope, this was the job. This is what I'm doing. But nobody wins in that. There just ends up being tension. I mean, the Guitar Ninja, the whole vibe of this business as just me beforehand was, this is my community with my students and their families, and we're just one big Guitar Ninja family. That sounds really lame in some ways, but it's not. That community sense of when everyone comes together, especially at the performances, it's great. And I feel like that same vibe should happen with the employees as well, you know.
Waking up early.
Okay, that's fair. I get that. I think everybody that's got used to waking up later in the day hates it when they have to start getting up earlier. What about when you're physically actually doing the job? How could I improve, or what could change to make your job more enjoyable? Even if it doesn't seem necessarily that possible, because you know the business enough now. But if you imagined you were back to just being a number and you could ask for anything to change, and the bosses just do it, what would it be? What do you think you would change if you could change anything?
Weirdly enough, I wish I had more hours.
Okay.
Weirdly, that's why I stay late sometimes.
Okay, so is that just because you want to be able to get things finished that you've started, or is it an actual wage thing?
No, it's to do with you, and honestly, I've already said I don't really care about the money too much. Like,
you say that, but I'm never going to let myself take the mick out of that. Like I've heard it, but I'm never going to expect you to do things for free.
Yeah, I know, but like
I'll accept it, but not expect it.
I really like helping you, like I've said. I like helping people, and I want to help you get this business like really off the ground and get up there, like, and also to finish stuff that to finish stuff that I've started.
Yes. No, don't worry. I get what you mean. It is frustrating when you've been editing for a few hours. I'm saying this as like not a you, but a royal you, we, whatever. When you've been editing videos for a few hours and you're like, I'm almost there. That almost there could still be another 2 hours because it's actually only the last minute, but it needs all these edits. But you're like, there's only a minute of footage left. Can I just do it? And then you end up looking at the time and going, huh? Like before I had you employed, there was times where I'd be editing videos and I'd go, holy cow, it's like midnight. Where did this time go? I mean, I was running this business for 18 months while single. So you can imagine there were times where I woke up, worked, oh, that's the time, I should get some sleep. Wake up, start working. And I did that loads. And weirdly, I didn't burn out. I didn't burn out from that. It was when I first started to try and take some breaks and get a life again that I then started to struggle because I was trying to balance two things. Okay, so you'd like more hours if that was possible. I think the difficulty is the layout of the business at this stage. But I see that being a possibility in the future. It's just unfortunately not right now. Not unless I want to work more hours, and I'm quite happy with my 60 already. Right. Okay, so what have you learned already on the job? Like, what kind of things stand out to you as a big thing? Obviously, the video editing is a big part of that. I think you've already answered that to some level. Is there anything else that you've learned that perhaps you didn't expect to learn on this job?
I didn't expect to learn how to write a blog. that was interesting.
Digital marketing. Should have known.
Yeah, honestly, I've never been like part of the marketing team of anything. So
Yeah.
sitting there and like thinking of ways to promote a YouTube video really well, best times to like upload posts
Yeah.
on social media and everything, it's all new to me. Because usually on my own Instagram, I'm just like, oh, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, let's have a post.
And sometimes I forget that I've been doing this for 3 odd years, learning this very slowly. Like, the first month I learned, oh, I should put this extra effort into some hashtags. The next month I thought, oh, I should really think about what day. The next time I was like, oh, actually the hours change how good it is or not. And then, you know, like, each of these things has been like, I've learned this over a month of doing things and doing those little bits of research or getting tips and hints here and there. And what I've done with you is I've gone, here's my 3 years worth of what I know, boom, have it in a month. And I'm trying to make sure that I hold back giving you too much in one go, but I also don't want you to think that that's all there is with certain things. And I'm sure I get the balance right, wrong. But it's a learning curve for me as well to share that knowledge, as well as learning the knowledge being a curve for yourself.
Yeah, the curve hasn't been too hard on me because I'm like the YouTube editing I got into quite quickly. Like I was like, okay, that's how you cut, say transition, how you match up the syncing.
I think editing's good as well because once you've learned to do something, you then have to repeat it 100 times in that one edit. So you learn that technique. I think things like learning how to manually focus the camera is the thing that you're only going to set that up once per week at the moment. So it's going to be a whole week of going, oh, what did I do again? Whereas with the editing, you're like, I've done it 100 times. Next week, I know what I'm doing again.
Yeah.
So I think there's some skills that learning curve is going to be really easy, and I think there's other skills where it's probably not going to be anywhere near as easy. Okay, here we go. This is an interesting one. What do you see your future looking like, both with the Guitar Ninja and personally outside? So, for instance, on the outside, have you got plans for the books? Have you got places you'd like to go? Sort of things. Like, what do you see in your future? I've not even put a timestamp on this, so you can choose a length of time.
Well, I'm just, for example, in the year, I want to move out. I want to move out of my house.
Okay.
So all the wages I'm getting now, I'm like gonna save to move out. Like I really want. I need my own space. I'm 20 years old now, and I need my own space.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would like to walk around my house naked.
That's the important part.
Yeah.
I want to have a shower and not worry about having to dry off in the bathroom before I
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm doing it with my girlfriend. We've already started to sort everything out, and like she's sorting out her job, and I'm sorting out my finances and everything, and I'm really looking forward to doing that. In the job aspect, I want to be able to get you to a point where you have more employees, and you have teachers teaching clubs and everything.
Yep.
And you're just at that point where even if I left, you'd still have a good flow, and it wouldn't be that.
Yes. So I think both me and you both have that eye on the goal for the business of if I like to use this example because I don't want to sound like I want to run away from the business. So let's say I fell ill for 2 months. Could the business keep running in that time? Yeah. And I guess that you kind of like that same idea. Mm-hmm. Like there's people underneath us, or how underneath sounds wrong. More members of the family, and then for that, if you ended up wanting a break or needing it, it could keep going. Cool. Yeah. We literally paused. I think I was literally on the last question, and we shouldn't have really turned the cameras back on for this question. So, Farron, final question. This is getting to know you. The question is, will it squeal?
Or me?
I don't know. How do you interpret the question? I was just waiting for you to be like,
I was thinking about doing that, and I was like, should I just pick up a guitar? What am I doing?
What am I doing? I don't know. I told you it was a very pointless question. Right. Okay, so with all seriousness, how long have you been working here now? That's the next question.
This is my 4th week, isn't it?
Is it that much?
Yeah. Yes, we've done...
I thought we were on week 3. I'm actually going to look through the cameras 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're in week 4. So you've done 3 weeks in a day.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, that's crazy. I've already now got into the mindset that you're here, that this is the business, which is great. Cool. So 3 weeks in, you've learned a lot about video editing, and a lot of little things about a lot of stuff as well. And it would be nice to give you time to focus on each of those individual things and understand them even better as we go along. Right then, guys, so now you've had a chance with the last podcast to know more about me. This one we've had a chance to meet more about Ferren, the bear. And yeah, if you like what we do here at the Guitar Ninja, there's many ways to support us, and the most helpful and free is to just keep watching these videos. Hit subscribe, hit that bell notification, and everything. If you're on YouTube, if you're on the podcasts, there'll be a way to either subscribe or follow. I don't do much with the podcast myself, actually, but I know plenty of people that do. Obviously, if you want to learn guitar, you know where to come. Check out the Guitar Ninja Academy if you want to check out things in your own time and do it online. It's nice and cheap, and you can even sign up for free to do the first course. If you want to support us even more, grab some merch! We have t-shirts and all sorts. Again, if you're on YouTube, links in the description. I'm sure there'll be links around if this podcast's elsewhere.
Yep.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. Obviously, we've got the local clubs and lessons if you're close to Northampton or Leighton Buzzard. So give us a shout. There are spaces in the club still. Private lessons are fully booked up unless you can sprint from school. There's one Thursday slot open now. And other people can't make it because it's a bit too early for them. I think it's 3:30 start. No. So a lot of people are struggling, will struggle to get here. But at the moment, that's the only private lesson slot available. And by the time this has gone live, that's probably already gone because they do go quick. But there's spaces in clubs. There's always space on the academy. There's always space to subscribe. So thank you so much for watching the video. We'll catch you in the next one soon. Bye!